I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you tips on applying foundation for mature skin. So if Lauren here were to have more mature skin, we would definitely start with a more hydrated liquid base or a tinted moisturizer for her foundation. You never want to just use a powder or a pressed powder on mature skin because it can look a little bit cakey as well as it'll look a little bit dehydrated. If you need to use a powder, it's recommended to use more of a loose powder because it will give more of a dewy effect. To do this, you just want to use light sweeping motions. Make sure you give your powder a little bit of a tap and just place and drag. That way, when you're using a loose powder, it'll stay nice and fresh, hydrated, and dewy and young looking throughout the day. It's also great for fine lines and wrinkles because it won't seep into the pores. On mature skin, you're always going to want to use a natural mineral-based makeup. Hi, I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you how to blend blemishes, acne, and freckles. So today I'm using a nylon bristle brush as well as the same powder foundation that I used to apply on her face. A trick with this is it's the same exact color as what we've already applied, so when we're using it to cover blemishes, we don't have to worry about any uneven areas showing through. It won't look lighter or darker, it'll be the exact same shade. So we're just lightly tapping on those little blemishes. And just a light tapping, blending, patting motion. You don't want to go back and forth aggressively, you just want to lightly place and blend. If you have spotting or freckles that you want to get rid of, this is the perfect way to do it. They'll just kind of even out the skin tone. And if you get any unevenness while doing this, you can go back and just lightly sweep it. But it's very, very light to the touch. You don't want to be too aggressive, otherwise it can get cakey and look unnatural. Hi, I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you how to use a contour brush. So a contour brush is flat on the top and feathers out, and you can use this for many different things. You can use it to contour the cheekbones to kind of give that shadowy effect right into the cheeks. You can also use it to soften the hairline, and you can also use it for a pressed powder. If you want to go in and soften your hairline a little bit after you've done your foundation, these edges here make for a really soft appearance. So you can just place and drag and just blend into the hairline. You don't ever want to put too much makeup on your forehead because it's supposed to look really just soft and natural. So just placing and dragging the brush all around the cheeks. Make sure that you always blend the corner of the jaw as to the neck. That way you don't get any lines, and you can just use that angle right there just to kind of soften that up. And if you're going to be doing any contouring in here, you can also use that edge by just placing and dragging. You don't ever want to go up and down, you always want to go in a back and forth side swept Hi, motion. I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you how to use an eyeshadow crease brush. A good eyeshadow crease brush is made out of real hair, and you want to make sure that all the bristles are facing the same direction and that you've taken good care of the brush. Otherwise, you can get different problems when you're trying to blend. So using this brush, you can use clean to blend makeup as well as use it for highlighting and contouring. So on Lauren here, we've already applied our darkest shade. So we're just lightly placing the brush onto the lid and just kind of blending it in with our medium and lighter colors. You can also use it in kind of a swirling motion. But just make sure you're using it very light to the touch. That way you're not taking off too much pigment that you've already put on. This brush is a must-have in your makeup kit, So you're always going to want to make sure your eyes and your eyeshadow are really nicely blended. Hi, I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you how to apply eyeliner for dark skin. Today we're going to use a cream to powder eyeliner as well as an eyeliner brush. So when applying your eyeliner, you always want to have your eyeshadow on first. And on dark skin, colors that look great are just a nice dark black as well as a dark brown or a neutral brown. So we're going to just place our cream to powder, just starting right in the middle of the eye. I find it's easier to do it this way because you can go back and connect that inner corner with your starting line there. So we're just placing and dragging. Cream to powder eyeliners are great because you can go back and manipulate the line. You can also use a smudger to kind of smudge it out for a more diffuse smoky eye. And it also will dry more as a powder, so it's not going to look too harsh or get cracky. So working the same way on both eyes. If you get too much product on with the eyeliner, you can go back and kind of diffuse it. Cream to powder eyeliners are also good for beginners because they're a lot more forgiving versus a liquid or a pencil. Hi, I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you how to use an eyeshadow smudge applicator brush. So a smudge applicator brush looks like this. It's kind of like a stopper. It kind of moves around, that way you can get in there and diffuse lines. So we already went ahead and did a cream to powder eyeliner on Lauren here. And a way that you can kind of get a smoky eye or kind of diffuse that look is just using the stop end of the brush and just placing it and dragging lightly. This will also make the eyeliner look a little bit thicker, as well as make your lash line look a little bit fuller too. This works well if you also have darker colors on your lid, kind of smudge that up. You can also use this in a powdered eyeshadow by dipping it in and placing on and dragging. So we're going to use a black powder and we're going to do under her eyes. So you just want to dip it in your powder and you can just place and drag under the eye. And notice how soft that line is in comparison to a liquid or a pencil. Hi, I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you makeup techniques for hooded eyes. So if Lauren here were to have hooded eyes, it would mean that when she's looking straight, the hood of her eye wouldn't be exposed. So in order to make your eyes kind of pop out without putting color on your lid, you can focus on areas such as under your brow bone or putting highlight right in the center of your eye to kind of open it up. Also with hooded eyes, lighter colors work really great. You can also start with your lighter color all over your lid. That way when you do close your eyes and you can see that color, it'll give it a little flash and a little bit of light. Also highlighting in your brow bone will draw attention to those areas, giving it a little bit more color. You don't want to make your lid too dark because you can't see it anyway when your eye is open, and it'll also just kind of take attention away from those highlighted areas. Again, always work back and forth with your highlight. And you can also, when you open your eyes, you can also put a little bit of highlight underneath your eye here. That way you'll have another area to look at of interest. Hi, I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you how to apply concealer to dark skin. Today I'm going to use a liquid concealer as well as a pressed powder. So after you've done your eyeshadow here, we're going to just go ahead and take care of the dark circles under her eyes. We're going to use one shade lighter than our foundation and a foundation brush. We're just going to kind of lightly sweep the concealer right underneath her eyes. And then we're going to go back and set that with a pressed powder, which is the same tone of her skin. It's best to use one shade lighter under the eyes because it's always a little bit darker under the eyes than everywhere else on your face. So I'll just kind of brighten that up. Now to set that and get rid of that shiny look, we're just going to go ahead and take our pressed powder, which is the same powder that we applied on her face as her foundation, and just place that right underneath the eye, just lightly patting that in. That will just ensure that the skin is even and it'll allow for a little bit more coverage. Hi, I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you techniques on applying blush to dark skin. We're going to use a powdered blush as well as a highlight. So we're going to use kind of a bronzy pink color on her. For dark skin, bronzes, neutrals, browns, pinks look great. You can also add a little bit more than you normally would for a little bit more punch. You're going to want to use a dome blush brush, and we've already done her eyes and all of her face. You want to do the blush last, that way you know how much to use in comparison to how dark her eyes are. So we're going to go ahead and just apply the blush just on the apples of her cheek, just lightly placing that in. And we want to just define her cheekbone here, so we're going to follow that line up to the ear. You also just want to kind of blend in with the hairline, that way there's no disconnection or spotting anywhere. You can add a little bit or a lot for a dramatic look. But again, we're just placing and kind of just blending in. You don't want to go in a sweeping motion, you just want to pat it in. That way you won't get any streaking. Another little trick for dark skin is using a highlight. It's kind of right above the cheeks here. Just will add a little bit more dimension to the face, a little bit more color to the skin. It's good for summer too. When the light hits your face, you'll get a little bit of a glow. And we're just, again, just right above where we put that blush. Also will give it more of a dewy, youthful look with a little bit of a shimmer. Hi, I'm Jack Hansen here at Lunatic Fringe, and today I'm going to show you how to make bigger lips look smaller. I'm going to use a lip liner as well as a lipstick. In order to make bigger lips look smaller, you're going to want to stay away from glosses or anything too shiny, as well as dramatic colors, anything that's really going to make your lips pop out, as well as darker colors. You're going to want to try and stick with more of a neutral shade. And when you're choosing lip colors, make sure that you're using a color that's matching the blush that you're using. So we're going to start with our lip liner. And this will just ensure that our lipstick is going to stay on. Lipsticks are usually matte, so less light is going to reflect off of the lipstick, which will help make them look smaller. This is just a really neutral shade, not too dramatic. And then with your lipstick, make sure that you're choosing a shade that matches your lip liner. Another trick is to take attention away from your lips by playing up your eyes. You can use bright colors on your eyes to make them pop a little bit. But the main thing is just choosing a matte lipstick nude color or a natural shade, just to kind of play them down a little bit.